Hey everybody, Dirili here. Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Code Realize Guardian of Rebirth. And here we are still on Lupin's path, going right along, and we have discovered the source of Finis's immortality. That he's actually kind of a machine, and he keeps making clones of himself. We're still here right now, learning some things from Finis. He's going to tell us all about everything, I think. So, let's hear what he has to say. Or maybe, is he done talking now and he's just going to try to tempt Cardia over to his side? Cardia, you do not know the power of the dark side. I don't know. We'll see what he has to say here. You can just sit back, relax, and let me read you a story. So, come with me, sister, to realize Father's dreams, so that I can be loved by Father, can become one with Father. I get chills and take a few steps back. Lupin, however, takes a step forward, as if protecting me.
Thank you very much for the explanation, but she's mine now. I can't just sit here and nod as you take her away. Now, what I have here is a powerful explosive designed by our very own foolish engineer. Answer my questions, or else I'll use it to destroy this main body of yours. A bomb, I see. Resorting to rather primitive methods, aren't we? And here I'd been told you never used weapons that would harm others. I don't condone violence, but if it's to protect the woman I love, then I won't hesitate.
Lupin,
tell me how to remove her poison. What's so funny? Don't worry. Sister's poison will disappear on its own.
What do you mean?
Once the Horologium's purpose has been fulfilled. Meaning, when it becomes one with Father, the poison will disappear. It would be tragic if his new body melted immediately. But, of course, that would mean that Sister will cease to exist as well. You.
What's that?
Ah, it is time.
A sudden rumbling begins, quickly becoming so strong that we cannot remain standing. The ceiling is unable to withstand the shaking and begins to collapse on us.
Whoa! Watch out!
I quickly take Lupin's hand and jump away from a huge chunk of falling debris. But the crash I'm expecting doesn't come. I turn back and look. What?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What's going on? Has the whole world been turned upside down? We're underground, but we can see the sky, so everything above us was sucked up into the air somewhere. Oh no, it's Nemo! Marvelous! This is fantastic! Behold, the might of the gravity alleviator!
I've heard this shrill voice somewhere before. That voice is far too distinctive to ever be forgotten.
Indeed.
I know that voice.
Yeah, it's that bonkers scientist we were up against in the airship race.
He's right. I tried to remember his name.
Nemo!
That's Nemo? What is he doing here?
My amazing mind has arrived to bring Master Isaac's long-awaited wish to fruition.
We listen to the voice in complete shock.
What? Guardia, run! It's too late.
Lupin's shout is just a split second too slow. Steel wires shoot out, and in an instant they wrap around my body, trapping me. The thick wire begins to cut into my skin. Several wires entangle me and lift me up into the air as I struggle in pain.
Cardia!
I hear him shout from behind me, and I twist around to look at him.
Finis, let her... Finis, let go of her. Do you want me to destroy you?
Lupin raises his arm, prepared to throw the bomb.
Go ahead, but you know the sister will be destroyed along with me.
He hesitates for a moment, and a different wire whips across his body. His shout of pain fills the hall. Lupin! Nemo's high-pitched, cruel laughter rains down on us.
It's showtime!
His voice is completely off-kilter. The ground begins to shake once more. The central globe in the middle of the area begins falling into the sky. It's like the sky and Earth have switched places.
Let's go, sister. Everything is about to begin. The moment when we will be rewarded shall soon arrive. She's not going to be rewarded, she's going to be dead.
Let go! Let go of me! Let me go!
I'm coming, Cardia!
Lupin gets up and starts to run. He jumps with all his might. Lupin flies through the air towards me, as if he somehow has gained momentum in the air. No, he's not flying. He's falling towards me. The force that is pulling the massive globe into the air is probably working on Lupin as well. He's holding onto one of the wires in one hand and comes as close to me as he possibly can.
Grab my hand!
He shouts at me forcefully. Lupin! I reach out as far as my arm will go. But then...
Not so fast.
Lupin is thrown back. Whatever power is causing me and the globe to rise into the sky must no longer be working on him. He falls straight towards the ground. Oh, Cardi is crying. I can hear his groaning all the way up here. No!
I won't let anyone else have her. We will become one.
That's really gross to say, Finis.
We will finally be loved.
His voice makes my heart quiver. Lupin!
I'll steal you back, Cardia. I promise you. Trust me. So have faith and wait for me.
Lupin! The globe and I climb higher and higher into the air, and Lupin and I get farther and farther apart. I will! I shout down to him. I was able to believe in myself because you loved me. I can be human because I love you. I believe in you. I'll wait for you. So promise me. Promise that we'll meet again. I clench my fist tight as I whimper.
What is that?
By this time, the fighting on the streets above has ceased. Just as the government troops are about to gain control over the rebels. Something suddenly came down from the sky, something unimaginably huge. Calling it a flying battleship wouldn't do it justice. It's a flying fortress, or perhaps even an entire city, wrought in steel and hovering in the air above London.
How is something like that capable of flight?
A strange orb floats up from the cathedral and into the enormous hovering thing. Leonhardt stares up in shock as all this takes place before him. More than just Leonhardt. Everyone, enemies and allies alike, are transfixed by the scene before them. A mechanical monster floating in the night sky. The sight is so far from anything that any of the people here have ever seen in their entire lives.
Is it going away?
Suddenly, the floating behemoth drops a glowing blue object. It falls straight down into the plaza in front of the cathedral. Is it a bomb? Run!
Look! Something fell out of it. Be careful. Is it some kind of gem?
It's an understandable question. The object that fell into the middle of the plaza looks like some kind of strange device. A beautiful, shining, crystalline light is spilling through the openings in the device.
Run! Fall back! Get out of here! We've got to get away from that thing!
Just as Leonhardt shouts, jets of gas blast out of the device in all directions. One of the men who was hit by the gas suddenly screams and falls to the ground.
What is this? What's going on? Just run! Run!
Is this Sectarium? The cloud of gas expands, engulfing the shouting soldiers who immediately fall to the ground and lie motionless. Leonhardt's mind is on the device, now hidden within the cloud, as he orders his troops to retreat. That gem-like shine. It was unmistakably the gleam of Sectarium that the Queen had shown him before. And when it had looked like the Loyalist troops were about to subdue the rebels, they were beaten by the monster in the sky. Shortly thereafter, Nemo's crowing from the massive floating machine tells them everything. The airborne fortress is named the Nautilus. This ship would pull Britain, and eventually all the world, into war, and will continue to fuel those flames for all time. And this ship has become the seat of God for Finis and the rebels, and the throne of the devil to Leonhardt and the others. Chapter 12. Code Realize. I can hear birds chirping. They sing gently of peace from far beyond the window.
Cardia. Wake up, Cardia.
Someone gently shakes me, and I open my eyes. I see a blurry shape standing near me. My mind is still hazy, and I'm unable to discern who this person is. I can't tell, but I know that this person is someone important, someone I care deeply for. I let this person wake me, as if nothing is out of the ordinary.
Come on, wake up. Always sleeping in late. You should try being more like Finis.
Sorry, but isn't it impolite to enter a lady's room uninvited?
Tell me that again once you start acting like a lady.
Fine. I sit up, annoyed.
Wake up and get dressed. I'll be waiting for you in the dining hall.
The person leaves, and I put my arms through the sleeves of my clothes, still feeling drowsy. I'm not wearing gloves, and the clothing I wear doesn't look or feel like anything special. Even so, the things I touch don't melt. But for some reason, all of this feels completely natural. This is me, but not me. I feel like I'm reliving the memories of some other person. I leave the room and head for the hall.
Mommy, why can't I eat yet?
How many times have you asked that? You know we don't eat until we're all here and we've said our prayers, all right?
Aw, when is sister gonna get here?
I hear voices. Honey, are you sure you woke her up? Did you give her a proper scolding for sleeping in?
Yes, dear. A right proper scolding.
Dear, you need to be tougher on the kids.
Why don't we just go ahead and start without her?
My brother, always trying to sound like a grown-up, and my mother, kind yet firm. And then there's Father, who seems a little bit timid. I smile and open the door to the dining hall.
Oh, finally! You're late, sister.
Good morning, Cardia.
Good morning. Next time, be sure to get up and dressed in time for breakfast, do you hear?
I smile and nod. I will. Good morning. The me in this dream is most definitely myself, but it also feels like a complete stranger. And then, although I smile towards them all, tears stream down my cheeks. I can hear the clock ticking. That's when I finally remember everything that's transpired, as well as the situation I find myself in. I was taken inside the Nautilus and immediately restrained by Twilight soldiers who had been waiting for me within. Then they attached a strange device to the horologium. And a moment later, I felt a body-splitting pain and screamed. After a while, I fainted. I opened my eyes to try to make sense of it all. For a moment, I feel like I'm still in the crypt beneath St. Paul's Cathedral. The large celestial globe, Finis's main body, is right in front of me. I can't move. It seems that my feet have been tied to the seat I've been placed in. Then, I notice that the clothing I'm wearing has been changed. This outfit, they're the clothes I wore when I used to be in Wales.
Ah, are you awake? I prepared those for you.
I look up at his sudden voice and see Finis looking joyful.
They're exactly the same as what Father made for you. Your original was apparently not a morning person. It seems Father was always scolding you. He could see the dream.
My brother, the monster, laughs cheerfully. But just beneath his smile lies an insatiable madness. What are you going to do to me? And what was that device, the one you attached to the horologium when I got here?
Device? Oh, that. It was for an emergency supply of sorts.
A supply?
Yes, a supply. This ship, the Nautilus, operates using a machine called the Gravity Alleviator.
Finis begins to answer my question with a boastful look.
It's thanks to that device that we were able to collect my main body, but it is very insufficient. Even if we had a tremendous amount of fuel ready, we would only be able to run the device for a moment. This ship was just about to crash because of the strain it had undergone.
His voice is still filled with joy, as if poking fun at the whole situation.
That is why we needed your horologium. Its massive energy was needed to supply this ship.
I glance down at my chest. It doesn't look any different, and the supply device from earlier is no longer attached. I can't believe that the horologium is what's keeping this airship aloft.
You can't? But it's true. A perpetual source of infinite energy, a source that transcends all. That is the horologium.
His expression is one of elation. It's as if he is unable to contain his glee at speaking of how clever his own father is. Then he produces something from a pocket. A pendant shining red. That's right, the same pendant that Finis showed me in that underground facility.
Using your body as a catalyst, the horologium is already near complete. This, sister, is the final component.
His smile gives me a bad feeling.
Sister, history will change dramatically from this very moment with Father's immense power.
Stay away. My words are sharp, yet firm. But even though I may sound confident, I'm afraid. What events might this pendant put into motion? I already have an idea.
I'm afraid I can't.
Finis smiles gently, then tears away my shirt from my chest. I see the horologium on my chest, glowing slightly and blinking rhythmically as if it had a pulse. Then, he slowly brings the pendant closer to it. The pendant begins to emit a high-pitched tone like a ringing in my ears. At the same time, my chest begins to heat up, becoming burning hot. The burning pain is so horrible that I stop myself from screaming. The pendant glows a bright red, and the horologium's pulses start to synchronize with those of the pendant. And the more the horologium pulses, the more I feel a strange sensation, like my body is being reassembled from within. The heat from the horologium spreads through my body. I feel like I'm melting. Just as I think I'm about to pass out from the pain. Without warning, the pendant in Venus's hand shatters. When that happens, the intense heat and pain I've been feeling vanishes. I glare at Finis, breathing unevenly, yet he just looks down at me dispassionately.
Now, all the preparations have been completed. All we have to do at this point is wait. Sister, once the horologium has been extracted from your body, my job here is done. Our family will finally be reunited.
That's not what I want.
You'll want it eventually, because we are monsters after all.
His beautiful smile suddenly twists into a rictus of agony. What the hell? He tears at his throat and violently twists his neck from side to side, but all the while, he still looks like he's smiling.
Look, sister. That moment of transformation, your energy has caused Father to stir.
Finis.
Father truly is an amazing man. Everything is exactly as he has imagined.
Finis topples to his knees and raises his face towards the heavens.
Father, my body is yours. Father!
He falls silent. And yet, the giant globe, his main body, emits a subtle light. The entire machine begins to make a quiet sound. At the same time, Finis, who had been completely motionless, slowly rises to his feet. His eyes, like two clear glass beads, stare intently at me. He's so cold and silent. Who are you? Something has changed in him. I understand intuitively that this person standing in front of me is no longer Finis. Who are you? My voice trembles.
My dear daughter, it's been so long.
The voice coming out of Finis's mouth sounds like him, and yet it isn't.
I'm so happy to see you. Truly I am.
He gently touches my cheek. Instantly, his hand begins to dissolve. The sound and smoke dissipate into the air around us. However, he doesn't even flinch. Even as his fingertips melt, he slides his hand over the horologium. Stop!
It's a beautiful light. Thank you, Cardia. My long-cherished wish will finally come true.
His voice is unmistakably Finis's, and yet every one of his words stirs memories that lie deep inside me.
Cardia, my beloved daughter, you will lead the world from God's cradle to the expansive world of knowledge. Cardia, it all begins with you. I love you so much, my dear daughter.
Are you Father?
Yes, that's right. I am Isaac Beckford. I created you and Finis in order to execute Code Realize. I will become the world's shepherd.
Father's voice is quiet and filled with something like sadness. Why? I look up at Father and ask him in a raspy voice, why would you do something like this?
What do you mean, why?
His blank gaze triggers an anger within me. After all that he's done, how can he show so little emotion? I've seen so much death. London is in complete turmoil right this moment. Many people died in battle. Others were engulfed in flames, leaving behind nothing but charred corpses. I've seen so many gruesome sights. I don't know anything about an eternal war or guiding humanity. But this, it can't be right. Isaac, no, Father, watches me in silence. A world war, guiding people to this future by killing so many. There is no way this could possibly be anything but evil. It's a terrible course of action that will only lead to misfortune, creating great sadness and suffering. No matter how lofty his goals are, how could he go through with such a tragedy for so many without hesitation? I assail him with all my doubts and questions about his plan. Eventually, I reach a certain question that had been lying in the depths of my mind. It's something that I myself hadn't even realized was there for a long, long time. A thought that perhaps emerged when I first found out what I am. Finis said that you loved me, Father.
And I do.
Father's response is soft. If you love me, then why did you create me? A pathetic doll that can only pretend to be human. Why? Why did you create me? If you love me, why? Just to use me as a catalyst to create the Horologium? How could you create a monster like me, who can't even touch another person? My voice trembles. I can't touch anyone. I can't even feel another person. I just wanted to be normal. How could you do this? He gives me nothing but silence in return. The quiet seems to go on forever. The Nautilus provides a background sound, a low, heavy rumble. I simply wait for Father to answer.
I see. I understand now. However, unfortunately, Cardia, you misunderstand. I do truly love Cardia. But to be more specific, you aren't her.
What?
I love the image of my daughter, which has been recreated in you, a monster.
What are you talking about?
You were created based on my daughter's own life. In other words, something akin to her genes. All that was left of her living cells after the house burned down.
The house burned down? I realize that I have a very distant picture of that home in my memory. It's most likely a memory from Cardia, whose body my own was based on.
Your appearance, voice, and physical mannerisms, I see traces of her in them.
He turns kind and affectionate eyes towards me. However, I know that it's not really me that he's seeing.
Even though these things are mere shadows, your body is unmistakably my daughter's. I can't contain the joy I feel seeing you before me.
His words burn me inside. I wasn't brought into this world because someone wanted me. Just like Finis, I'm a doll that has been created as a tool to further Father's plan. That's all my very existence has ever been.
We've run out of time. Your horologium is still not yet complete, and I can only remain awake for a short time. I will see you again. It was only for a brief moment, but I'm glad that I was able to see you again.
With this, he slowly closes his eyes. The strange bluish-white light that had been surrounding him fades. And as it fades, Finis once again quietly opens his eyes. His laugh sounds partly mad and partly sad. I sense that Finis is back.
Father, so soon. Your dream will become a reality so soon.
His expression almost looks like ecstasy. Starting an eternal war and continue the loss of life that has already taken so many. How can he look so happy when faced with the prospect of such tragedy? 'Cause he's a psychopath. Why? I can't help but ask. I can't bring myself to comprehend the way he or Isaac think. Why, Finis? Father, Isaac is wrong, no matter how you look at it. If this plan becomes reality, so many innocent people are going to die. Not just me, you too. We'll both disappear from this world. Finis cocks his head to one side, looking genuinely confused.
So what if we do? There's nothing about it that would trouble us. Once we accomplish this, Father will surely love us. Isn't that enough? From my own perspective, I don't see why you...
He starts to say something, then frowns. I can tell from where I sit that he is gradually becoming agitated.
Ah, I see. You are taking his love for granted. You're a monster, and yet you think that someone would have the heart to love you, even though that is impossible.
He comes at me in a rage and forcefully grabs me by the hair with his left hand. Ow! As I twist in pain, he continues to shout, his words pouring forth endlessly.
You'll probably never understand, since Father already loved you. He never loved me, he despised me, he hated me, and you'll never comprehend how that feels.
I do know how that feels. He doesn't truly love me. He loves his daughter. I'm just based on her.
Shut up! So what if it's only false love? At least you were loved. What's the problem with that? You don't know what it's been like for me. He never even smiled in my direction.
Finis. His quaking voice saddens me more than it frightens me.
It's so unfair. Why you, when he doesn't love me at all?
The anger gradually subsides from his voice, leaving only sadness. A pitch-black sadness, like a vast emptiness. I realize something now. The person who is most aware of their own status as a monster, and most aware of being a doll. The person who is also the saddest and the most alone. It's not me. The other half of Isaac's cursed children, who was created just as I was, but was never looked upon with love. It's Finis. Okay, and we're going to take a break here and pick up in the next episode. Well, you know, it seems a good place to stop as any that I ever come up with. It seems to me that Lupin's story is going to be longer than the other guy's stories. I don't know how much longer. I kind of hope long, because I'm enjoying this. But, and I don't want the game to end. I love this game. So anyway, I hope to see you in my future videos, and I'd be so grateful for any likes, comments, subscriptions, or shares with your friends to show some support. Thank you so much for joining me, and I wish you all health, happiness, and safety. Dirili signing out. Bye-bye, everybody.